Welcome to the CISSP Cyber Training Podcast, where we provide you the training and tools you need to pass the CISSP exam the first time. Hi, my name is Sean Gerber, and I'm your host for this action-packed, informative podcast. Join me each week as I provide the information you need to pass the CISSP exam and grow your cybersecurity knowledge. All right, let's get started. Hey, I'm Sean Gerber with CISSP Cyber Training, and hope you all are having a beautifully blessed day today. Today is CISSP Question Thursday, and today we are going to be talking about CISSP questions associated with the content that we had on Monday. And Monday was over domain 4.2 of the CISSP exam. So we're going to get into that in just a second, but before we do, had an article that I wanted to bring to all of your attention related to a zero-day alert that Google just released a patch for. So this is attacking the Chromium browser, the Chrome browser. And the ultimate point of it is a CVE 252783. Now, this release of this patch, the zero day that's out there right now, has been targeting organizations within Russia. And this is the media, this is the educational institutions and government organizations where it's basically targets them. If you click on the link, you automatically get infected. And then they don't really know yet, but there's also a remote code execution that occurs with a second exploit, and they haven't figured that one out yet. So ultimately, they're able to use Chrome, gain access to these systems, remote code execution against them, and now they can have access to your device. Now, you say, well, this is Russia, so maybe you do or do not care about that. But if it's targeting a Google Chrome instance within Russia, it can easily be manipulated against anybody else around the globe. So the ultimate point is that you need to get this patched as soon as you possibly can. Basically, an email goes out. The email has links on it. You click on it, you're immediately infected. So you definitely want to get this resolved as quickly as you possibly can. Users with Chromium-based browsers such as Edge, Brave, Opera, and Vivaldi are advised to apply the fix when they can do this. And again, this is from Hacker News, and it's from Kaspersky Labs, who discovered this issue. So I highly recommend that you go out and get that addressed. If not today, within the next couple of days would probably be a good idea, because the bad guys and girls will start using it in other places besides Russia. Okay, so that's what we have there. Let's roll into our questions for the day. Okay, so this is group 10 of the CISSP. So basically, if you go to CISSP Cyber Training, I have questions that are set up specifically for you over all of the domains, and each domain has a group of questions that are there. This is group 10 of questions that are in domain 4, and they're usually 15 to 20 questions each, and they're set up specifically for that domain. And this is group 10. So this is basically which, if you go into CISSP Cyber Training, you can actually just click to the questions. Once you get to the questions, you can go to domain 4, and then you can gain access to this actual question bank as well. I'm also looking at a different option right now with questions. It looks really promising. I'm trying to figure out the cost, if it's going to be valuable or not for you all, but it looks pretty cool. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, group 10. 15 questions. Let us get going. All right, this is over domain 4.2. Okay, question 1. A company is experiencing slow network performance, particularly during peak hours. Which of the following network devices would most effectively address this issue by distributing traffic across multiple paths? Okay, again, what would be the most effective in addressing an issue of distributing traffic across multiple network paths? A, hub. B, switch. C, router with load balancing capabilities, or D, a firewall with deep packet inspection. And again, distributing traffic across all network paths or multiple network paths, it would be a router with network balancing capabilities. Answer C. Again, that's the ultimate point. You got load balancing, helps a lot with putting it across multiple network paths. Question 2. Which of the following transmission media is most susceptible to electromagnetic interference, or commonly known as EMI? Again, which of the following transmission media is most susceptible to electromagnetic interference? A, fiber optic cables. B, coaxial cables. B, twisted pair cabling. Or D, wireless or Wi-Fi. And the answer is D, wireless or Wi-Fi. Again, EMI can affect that specifically because it's transmissions over the air. And if you have enough EMI, those will go bye-bye. So one thing we learned in the B1 while I was flying B1 is you also have it set up for EMP, which is electromagnetic pulse. That's when a nuke goes off and there's an EMP that occurs and it fries all the electronics in your whatever you're dealing with. So the bad thing is if you're flying a B1 and a bomb goes off, a nuke goes off, now your plane, if they didn't have it shielded, would be basically coming a brick. Now that's not a good thing. So they've put things in place to obviously fix those issues, but all I can say is if we have a nuke going off, we all have a bad day. Whether or not you're in an airplane or you're on the ground, doesn't really matter. It's bad, real bad. Question 3. A company implements a NAC solution that quarantines endpoints that fail security checks. Which of the following is a primary benefit of this approach? Again, a company implements a NAC solution that quarantines endpoints that fail security checks. Which of the following is a primary benefit of this approach? A, the reduced risk of malware infections. B, the improved network performance. C, enhanced user experience. Or D, simplified network administration. Again, a company implements a NAC, which is the primary benefit of this approach. And the answer is A, reduced risk of malware infections. Again, by isolating or infected non-compliant devices, the NAC will help prevent the spread of malware, obviously, because it puts it in a position where they can't be used. And this is an automated type solution. It can be very, very valuable. The downside, obviously, is it takes some time to implement this, but it could be very helpful, especially if you are a targeted entity. Question 4. Which of the following firewall rule sets would be most effective in preventing external access to internal web servers while allowing internal users access to the internet? A. Block all inbound traffic, allow all outbound traffic. B. Block all outbound traffic, allow all inbound traffic. C. Block all traffic, allowing specific inbound and outbound traffic. Or D. Allow all traffic, block specific inbound and outbound traffic. And the answer would be A. Now, this could obviously go different ways, but the answer is A. Block all inbound traffic and allow outbound traffic. So the most effective way is, again, if you're wanting to stop external access to an internal web server, would be to block all inbound traffic. Now, that obviously probably isn't the best solution for your company, depending upon the situation, but it is the most effective because it will definitely limit people gaining access to your internal web servers. Question 5. A company is experiencing a significant increase in network traffic. Which of the following network devices would most effectively analyze network traffic patterns to identify potential threats and anomalies? Again, a significant increase in network traffic. Which of the following devices would be most effective in analyzing network traffic patterns to identify potential threats and anomalies? A hub, B, a switch, C, a router, or D, an IDS or intrusion detection system. And yes, you guessed it, it would be D, an IDS. An IDS will do a deep packet inspection of all the traffic coming in and out, and it has the ability to look for any sort of malicious activities. So an IDS of this question would be the right one to choose. Question 6. A company is implementing a BYOD policy. Which of the following security measures is most critical for ensuring security of company data and employee-owned devices? Again, they're doing BYOD. Which of the following is most critical for ensuring security of the company data and employee-owned devices? A, device encryption. B, remote wipe capability. C, MDM software. Or D, all of the above. Most critical would be all of the above, right? You want to have some level of access or protection on your BYOD. One, data encryption, remote wipe, and MDM. Those are all valid. They might actually all be wrapped under the MDM software itself. But they are an important part if you're doing any sort of BYOD within your company. Question 7. Which of the following network topologies offers the highest level of fault tolerance? A, bus topology. B, star topology. C, mesh topology. Or D, ring topology. Not Lord of the Rings, just the ring topology. Which of the following network topologies offers the highest level of fault tolerance? And the answer is C, mesh, right? Mesh technology, each device is connected directly to multiple other devices. So if something goes down, you do have your best level of redundancy related to your devices and your network. Question 8. A company is experiencing a slow network performance on a specific VLAN or virtual LAN, local area network. Which of the following tools would be most helpful in identifying the source of the issue? Again, you're having some performance issues on your VLAN. What would be the most helpful in looking for the issue of the source issue? Yeah, something like that. English is not my first language. I don't know what it is. Actually, it's probably baby talk. All right. A, protocol analyzer. B, network scanner. C, port scanner. Or D, vulnerability scanner. And the answer would be A, a protocol scanner. This captures and analyzes network traffic, allowing administrators to identify performance, bottlenecks, and network congestion. The protocol analyzer will also look to make sure the protocols are properly being utilized and your connections, your handshakes, and all those different aspects are occurring as they're expected. Question 9. A company is experiencing a significant increase in the number of denial of service attacks, or DOSs. Which of the following network devices would be most effective in mitigating these attacks? Okay, you have a denial of service attack, things are getting flooded. What do? A, switch with VLAN segmentation. B, a firewall with intrusion prevention capabilities. C, a router with QoS, or quality of service, QoS. Or D, a load balancer. So if you're having a DDoS attack, which would be the most effective in mitigating some of these attacks? I mean, all of these probably are a little bit squishy, honestly. But the answer would be B, firewall with IPS capabilities. Now, the IPS can set up to shunt or to block the DDoS type of attacks. And the firewall is typically right there on the edge. So it would probably be your best solution. I wouldn't even go with any of these. I would probably have a DDoS protection capability that's out in the cloud and that all your traffic is routed through. But if you didn't have that opportunity, a firewall with some IPS or DDoS type of mitigation techniques would be probably your best choice in these questions. Question 10. A company implements a stateful firewall and observes UDP packets are being dropped after a short period of inactivity. What is the most likely cause? Okay, so we all know UDP is just broadcast and it's being dropped after a short period of inactivity. What does this mean? A, incorrectly configured ACLs or access control lists. B, the firewall's timeout value for UDP sessions is too low. B or C, the firewall SYN flood protection is misconfigured. Or D, the firewall's implicit deny rule is blocking the packets. Again, so we got a UDP packets, okay, broadcast being dropped after a short period of inactivity. What would you think it would be? The answer is B, right? The firewall timeout value for UDP sessions is too low. So UDPs are connectionless, as we all know, so they're basically broadcast. And these sessions are based on your IP and your ports. So if there's no activity in a timeout period, it drops them. So your timeout is too low, it's dropping your packets. So something to consider. That's one way, one thing that could be the challenge. Question 11. An organization is deploying a network intrusion prevention system, NIPS, and wants to minimize the false positives. Which of the following deployment strategies is most effective? So your intrusion network prevention system, which of these you don't want to have false positives, so which of these is most effective? A, deploy the NIPS in a passive monitoring mode. B, deploy the NIPS inline and strict signature-based detection. C, deploy the NIPS in line with anomaly-based detection and a tuning phase. Or D, deploy the NIPS out of band and configure it to block all traffic. Okay, well, that one you definitely don't want to do, right? Because that would you just denied yourself any sort of capability. So that one, just throw that one out. Throw it out. Goodbye. But the answer is C. Deploy the NIPS inline, anomaly-based detection, and a tuning phase, right? So you need that anomaly-based detection kicked in, but you also need to have some level of tuning, allowing this system to understand what's the baseline, what are the false positives. It needs this capability, and so you want to deploy it inline, but don't have any sort of blocking capability set up. You want it to start tuning itself, and then you going in and helping the situation. Question 12. A company is implementing a VPN solution for remote access. Yay! Which of the following protocols provides the most secure method for data confidentiality and integrity? You're implementing VPN. Which is the most secure method for data confidentiality and integrity? A, PPTP and MPPE. B, SSL VPN with TLS 1.0. C, IKE version 1 main mode. Or D, L2TP with IPsec. Okay, so if you don't know, you're like, I don't know what any of that acronym soup is. What is that? Well, so you gotta kind of have to know some of it. But 2, TLS 1.0, you can throw that one out right away. Just throw it out because it's way beyond TLS 1.0 right now. But you know that we've talked a lot about in here about L2TP and IPsec. And IPsec and both of those are very, very good for what you're trying to accomplish. PPTP and MPPE, they have known vulnerabilities as well. And so those are ones that you might want to work. If you don't know what IKEA is, well, then you know what? You can at least break it down to L2TP and IPsec. So bottom line is L2TP provides tunneling and IPsec provides a strong encryption. That's what goes over the tunnel. So you know that for a fact. So that would be your most secure method for securing confidentiality and integrity. Question 13. A network administrator is troubleshooting slow network performance and suspects a broadcast storm. Which of the network devices would be most effective in mitigating this issue? A, hub. B, a switch with VLANs. C, a router with ACLs, or D, a firewall with an AT. Not an AND, but an AT. A network address translation. Yes, too many, whatever those are. Acronyms, yes. The network administrator is troubleshooting a slow network performance and suspect a broadcast storm. Which network device would be most effective in mitigating this issue? And the answer would be B, a switch with VLANs, right? So if you have a switch with multiple VLANs, you can have the segment has specific domains, can have traffic with specific groups, and you can switch the VLANs to prevent the broadcast storm from affecting the entire network. So we basically can shunt it off. That's a great point. Question 14, a company is implementing a wireless network and wants to ensure that the strongest authentication and encryption, that it has that. Which standard should they use? Okay, so a company is implementing a wireless network and wants to ensure the strongest authentication possible. What would they use? A, WEP, B, WPA, C, WPA2 with pre-shared key, or D, WPA3 Enterprise. If you don't know, just pick the biggest number, right? WPA3 Enterprise, it does have stronger encryption with 256 AES. And it does require, now the one thing about it though, is that it does require a radius server, which will give you some level of centralized authentication. But you do, if you're going to want the most, again, the most strongest standard, what would they use? It would be WPA3 Enterprise. Question 15. A network security analyst is investigating a suspected man-in-the-middle attack, or MITM attack. Which of the following techniques is most likely to be used by the attacker? A, DNS spoofing. B, SYN flooding. C, ARP poisoning. Or D, the Smurf attack. Again, you're dealing with a man-in-the-middle attack. Which of the following is most likely to be used by the attacker? And the answer would be C, ARP poisoning. So when you're dealing with ARPs, that, again, that's your address resolution protocol. I'm pulling these things out of my cranium. This is where you're dealing with MAC addresses and IP addresses. And so if you can spoof those, right, then you can obviously become a man in the middle by giving them if I had my computer, I'd give you my MAC address. And then now I'm part of the chain, and I'm good. Life is golden. But the ARP poisoning would probably be the most likely way that the attacker would try to do a man-in-the-middle attack. Okay, so that's all I have for you today on the CISSP cyber training. If you want these questions, you want to get access to all these questions, go to CISSP cyber training. You can get access to all of this content. Go purchase the product itself. It's amazing. You can get it, and you know what? You'll have access to all these questions immediately. As I'm looking to roll out this new product, hopefully, we'll see if it works, then you'll have access to that as well. So again, great time with you all today. I hope you all are having a beautiful, blessed day today. I really, truly do. And I will plan on catching you next week, same time, same bat channel, at CISSP Cyber Training. All right, we will catch you all on the flip side. See ya. Hey, thanks again for listening today. It's been my pleasure to prep you for the CISSP exam. Are you interested, though, in some free CISSP exam questions? Head on over to freecisspquestions.com and sign up to join my email list, and you'll receive access for 60 free CISSP questions each and every month for the next 6 months. That's a total of 360 questions just for signing up with CISSP Cyber Training. You'll also gain access to other free CISSP resources, so just head on over to freecisspquestions.com and sign up, or head on over to CISSPcybertraining.com and sign up today. Have a wonderful day, and we will catch you on the flip side. See ya.